friends, it's Willie. Welcome to my channel, Disney Your Day. If you have visited with me before, welcome back. Pardon me while I adjust my light. I thought I was ready, and apparently I wasn't. It is UFO Friday. A UFO is an unfinished object. It's a term I've heard in a number of crafting areas. It's a little bit different, at least in my mind, than a whip or a work in progress, because a work in progress is something that you're tending to on a regular basis. You're working on it on a regular basis. Whereas an unfinished object is something that's feeling a little unloved because you started it and then kind of pushed it to the side in favor of other shinier things. So that's what I am pulling out today. And this is a series that I've been doing. I cheated on my last UFO Friday by actually recording and publishing it on a Saturday. I'm sort of cheating on this one because I'm actually recording on Wednesday so that it can be published. Published on Friday. I am going up to Pennsylvania tomorrow night, Thursday night of this week, to get ready for a yard sale that one of my besties and I are having on Friday and Saturday. I'm concerned that it's a little late in the season to do yard sales, but the weather is supposed to be really nice, so we're hoping that we can get some folks out for it. She lives in a really good location near a corner on kind of a main drag in her town. So we're hoping we can attract some business and I can get rid of some stuff that I've been packing away. I put a lot of stuff away for the yard sale when I was preparing for my move. So anyway, I've already rambled, good lordy, and I've just started. So again, this is a UFO. This is the project that I started when I resurrected my channel back in the spring of this year, I believe. And I haven't touched it since. I'm really sorry, Mickey. You know I have loved you my entire life, and I apologize. And Mickey got kind of hustled around a little bit. He kind of sat unloved after that particular video, and then he got a little crushed in the move. I was looking for the drills for a couple of minutes before I started this video. I have a very specific reason for wanting to work on Mickey, work on any Disney related diamond painting for this particular video. You'll see that once I stop rambling about this and start rambling about the other thing. And for a minute I thought, well, if I can't find the drills, and we're having problems with the drills here apparently. This is a budget painting, as you can see. Well, as you can maybe see if you're an experienced diamond painter. This is from one of the budget-friendly companies. I thought, well, maybe I can just round up some spares. And then I looked at the legend, and there are no DMC codes. No DMC codes, so matching up the drills would not be a fun adventure. So I went digging a little bit more and found the drills. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm sorry, I watched Medea's first Boo video last night. So if I drop a few Medea-isms, please forgive me, unless you're a big Medea fan as well. You can tell this stuff was sitting around for a while because it's got my hair in it. I shed really badly. And it seems like no matter what kind of craft I do, my hair has to get involved in it. When I was able to cross stitch still, when my hands would allow me to do that, I'd inevitably stitch a hair somewhere into the fabric. When I do paper crafting, I usually end up gluing a hair somewhere and have to get the tweezers out and pull it out, and it's just a pain. All right, some of these drills are sticking together, and I don't know if it's some... Oh, that has a hair stuck to it as well. Good grief. Anyway, where was I? I don't even know. I need somebody to sit with me and say, okay, this is where you were when you started rambling. Anyway, Mickey, very specific reason. I've alluded a couple of times to an upcoming trip and the fact that at some point I would do a trip announcement. If you don't watch Disney videos or Disney YouTubers, this might be a foreign concept to you, but it's something that Disney YouTubers who don't live close to one of the parks have a tendency to do. When they're planning a trip and they know for sure that they're going to Disney World or Disneyland, they do a trip announcement to kind of let people know, yay, I'm going back home. I'm going to go visit the parks. This is what I'm looking forward to, yada, yada, yada. So I've been wanting to do this trip announcement video. Now, my current plan is not to visit one of the parks, which is, I love. I don't get to go very often. I'm not wealthy. I work in human services. and we tend to be kind of classically underpaid. Sorry, with the moving around, some of these drills slid a little bit. I'm trying to get them back in line. Thanks to the generosity of one of my oldest and dearest friends, I am going to be going on a Disney cruise with my two best friends within the first quarter of next year. I'm not going to give exact dates or anything until after we're back. But we are going to be sailing on the Disney Magic, which was the Magic the first ship in the Disney line? It might have been the first ship. I need to do my research before I film these videos, don't I? But it's one of the original ships on the Disney Cruise Line. And we are sailing out of New Orleans. And we are going to the Western Caribbean with stops at Cozumel, I guess I'm saying that right, in Mexico. And another stop in Grand Cayman, in the Cayman Islands, and we have a couple of days at sea. I am so excited. And when this move came about, I thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to afford, even though my friend is paying for a large part of the trip, I couldn't see that I could afford it. And then I remembered I'm old enough now that I can take withdrawals. I have trouble with certain words that have R's in them for some reason that I can take money out of. So I don't try to say that word again. Take money out of my 403B. I'm trying to figure out what is at my feet. I just made my lights flicker. the pad. I must have kicked the power strip and knocked the lights out there for a second. So my apologies if any of you have issues with flashing lights. where was I? I can take money out of my 403b, which is the not-for-profit equivalent of the 401k. So if I'm not able to save enough between now and then, I can take a little bit of money out of my 403b. And even though I'm not retired yet, and I'm okay doing that because lately my 403b has been losing money. It varies widely based on what the stock market is doing at any given point in time and how you've distributed your investments, that sort of thing. And the stock market has not been great for a spell, and I'd rather take the money out and do something with it than to have it just disappear into thin air. So there you go. I took some out earlier this year to help with moving expenses and to pay my half of some work that we had done on the house that I co-own in Pennsylvania. We had a new roof put on. We had a new roof put on before we desperately needed to have a new roof put on, which we thought was a good move to make. And we also had a small custom shed built in the backyard because the old shed that my dad had gotten from somebody else, it was like a hand-me-down shed. Which, if you knew my dad, of course he would get somebody else's hand-me-down shed. That's just who he was. He was kind of thrifty, and if he could get something on the cheap, he was going to do that. So it was scary. My niece and I both went out there during broad daylight and stood together, almost holding hands as we opened the shed because we were afraid of what we might find in there. All turned out okay. Nothing scary in there, but it was just really old and really... we were concerned about the structural integrity of it. So anyway, I took some money out of one of my 403b accounts to help pay my half of the repairs, the roofing and the shed. We also had a large air conditioning repair bill that I helped pay, and I also paid some of my moving necessities out of that. So I can take money out of that. And this is possibly a once in a lifetime trip with my oldest and dearest friends, and I have no intention of missing out on it. So yeah, we're doing a cruise and a Disney cruise. Disney cruises are known for being a little extra special. There are cruises lines out there that are fancier than Disney cruise ships. Don't get me wrong about that. But Disney in general tends to be known for customer service, and that extends to their cruise line as well. We are very excited. We have an accessible cabin booked. One of my friends is going to be renting a scooter for mobility. And actually, by then we might all need a scooter. I don't know that we'd have room for 3 scooters inside the cabin, but it's a nice sized cabin with a huge balcony. We could all 3, I think, be able to sit out on this balcony and ignore each other. Some of the balconies you see on cruise ships, you're practically sitting in each other's lap. That is not the case with this balcony. So we're really excited. We're having cruise planning meetings to watch videos on YouTube and kind of figure out what we want to do for our port excursions. We're spending a couple of extra days in New Orleans because none of us have ever been before. So we're really excited about that. So yeah, so that's my trip announcement. I'm going on a cruise. Have you been on a cruise? Tell me about your cruise experience, if you have any experiences. Both of my friends have been on a cruise before. They cruised with a couple of other of our friends years ago, and our other bestie has been on a Disney cruise. She was on a different ship. She wasn't on the Magic. I think she might have been on the Wonder. I think. But it's been a while. I have a tendency, now that I'm older, I have a tendency to get seasick. About 10 years ago, I realized that I had to stop riding roller coasters, which was one of my favorite things ever. Like, ever. I loved roller coasters. I loved loops. I loved spirals. I loved all of it. And I went to Universal Florida, and rode the Incredible Hulk coaster, screamed and laughed my full head off the whole time. I mean, I was laughing like a fool. My middle niece, who did not ride the coaster with my youngest niece and myself, could hear me laughing while she was standing on the ground watching us. I mean, I screamed and laughed my fool, FOOL, not FULL, my full head off. I had the best time on that coaster, and then I couldn't walk straight for about 2 or 3 hours after that. I kept, my nieces kept, kind of pushing me back in line because I was walking off at an angle and I didn't quite feel right. And I sat out another ride that they went on and just kind of sat very quietly in the shade and breathed and tried to get my bearings about me again. And it was just, I was deeply hurt because I knew I was going to have to give up something I loved. And I had made plans for every roller coaster in that park, let me tell you. So I have this tendency for motion sickness now, and I'm a little concerned. I saw my doctor last week to do a check on my diabetes and some other things, and I mentioned this to her, and she said she could give me a prescription for is it scopolamine, some sort of motion sickness patch that you wear behind your ears. She said, I can give you a prescription for that. You should be able to take that with no problem. Although she did say that with the larger ships, the cruise ships, people tend to not have as much problem because you don't always realize that you're moving. Oh, didn't have a drill there. So I'm hoping that that's the case, but we'll see. But I want to have something just to be on the safe side. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited about everything on the ship. Okay, I'm a fat chick. I'm excited about the food on the ship, okay? I've watched videos where they show the buffet on the Disney ships. I'm excited that I can get premium Mickey ice cream bars delivered via room service, and all I have to pay is a tip to the steward who brings us our Mickey bars. So I'm like, yeah, if I want to have a Mickey bar before bed every night, I'm going to have a Mickey bar before bed. Talking about my diabetes, right? But again, this may be a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Although we're already talking about which ship we want to go on next. My our other best friend also sort of works in healthcare. She is a recreation therapist at a state-funded facility. So, yeah, cruising might not be something we're able to do very often. But I'm so excited. And again, I wanted to be working on something Disney related when I did the trip announcement, because it's a Disney cruise line. And again, we're so excited. And now that I've done the trip announcement, I can actually refer to it in other videos. There were a couple times where I almost spilled it, and I'm like, nah, you haven't done the trip announcement yet. So yeah. So let me see how long I've been recording. I should probably set a timer for these. Okay, I'm at 20 minutes. I wanted to keep this under half an hour. So again, this Mickey painting that I'm working on, it says 30 by 30 because it's from one of the budget-friendly companies. I'm guessing that that's canvas size, not actual, yeah, image size. This is about 24, just a little smidge over 24 by almost exactly 24. We'll see how well the rendering is. You can probably see just from the picture on the canvas that his face, especially his nose and his mouth, well, and his eyes, that looks pixelated without the drills on it. So you're going to be able to tell it's Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is an iconic image. You're probably not going to get him confused with anything else. But it was just a fun little thing, and I think I bought this when I was just basically putting just about anything with Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse or one of the other Fab 5 Disney characters in my cart. The Fab 5 Disney characters, if you don't know, are Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, and Pluto. If you add Daisy in, you've got the Fab 6. I'm not sure why she was left out of the original Fab 5. But, you know, you have to get Pluto in there. Pluto's one of my favorites. And Goofy is pretty much, you know, one of Mickey's best friends. So, but yeah, that's the Disney Fab 5. Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, and Pluto. And don't get me started on why, you know, Pluto is a dog who doesn't speak and Goofy's a dog who walks upright and does. I have no real theories on that. If you have a theory, I'd love to hear about it. But anyway, friends, thank you so much. I'd love to hear from you. Please tell me if you've been on a cruise, and especially if you've been on a Disney cruise. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Are you frightened of going on a cruise? I have some concerns because even though things have gotten better with so many people getting vaccinated, I'm still a little nervous about being on kind of a contained environment like that where people don't have to mask. I will probably mask when I'm in indoor public, I can't pick up a drill. When I'm in indoor public areas on the ship, I will probably mask just because I've been super safe during all of this. I still mask when I go to the grocery store or when I go to Walmart. So I'm still being pretty careful, and I think that's why so far, you know, knock wood or laminate or whatever this table is, I have never tested positive throughout all of this. I know other people who've been very careful and have tested positive. I have managed to avoid it, which is good because, as I allude to occasionally, I'm a little bit older. I do have type 2 diabetes. I have high blood pressure. I think I haven't had the definitive diagnosis, but I've been told that I have non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. I have very mild asthma that tends to kick in when my allergies are really bad. So I've got some health concerns that make this virus even a little more concerning for me. Concerns that are more concerning. You speak English real good there, Will. But I probably wouldn't do as well as some folks who get it. And I'm trying to be careful because it's just me. I don't have anybody to take care of me. I take care of myself. I am single. I don't have any family members terribly close by. My closest family is an hour away in Pennsylvania. So, and they all have busy lives. My sister's retired, but she wouldn't drive this far. She barely drives to the next town over. She does not like driving on highways. And she has trouble walking. So if I needed somebody to care for me, she's going to be, I love you. I wish you the best. She's not physically capable of coming and caring for me if I happen to get sick. So I'm still being careful. And I hope you're being careful too, because I don't like to think of anyone getting sick, especially when it's something that can largely be avoided. Not necessarily prevented, but avoided by taking some extra safety measures. So let me get off my soapbox. I'm probably at a half hour at this point, and you're like, when will this woman stop talking? So if you haven't already clicked away, please do the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe. And remember, if you have a diamond painting channel, I'd love to hear about it, because if I'm not already subscribed to your channel, I will subscribe and I will watch your videos and like your videos and occasionally comment if I'm not in the middle of doing something. And I can, take a break and make a comment, because I know how happy it makes me when I see that someone has liked and commented on my video. And I want to share that love with other people. So I think there's a pretty nifty diamond painting community on YouTube, and I'd like to be an active participant in it. And I hope you will too. So I think that's all for now. I am going to post this on Friday. I will probably start uploading it while I am still at the yard sale. If I can find a link to good old Mickey here, I will list it in the description box. If not, most of the budget-friendly diamond painting companies have a variety of Disney kits available. It is very easy. And I know that Diamond Dots has had some actual licensed Disney canvases. I have one that's in my, these two are mated for life, I swear. I'm sorry. I have a Mickey head, just Mickey's head, Mickey's profile. Not profile. His headshot. Isn't that the term that actors use? His headshot. I have one of those that's a Diamond Dots kit that's in my UFO pile, my unfinished object pile. And I have really, truly misplaced the drills for that. So I want to get on a site like either Michael's or Joann's, or maybe run into a Joann's store and pick up some of the freestyle drills. Since it's Diamond Dots, if you don't know, also does not use DMC codes. Not unlike this particular company does not use the DMC codes. So color matching is a little more challenging. But I figured it does have the Diamond Dots codes on it. So if I buy the Diamond Dots freestyle drills, I'll be able to pull that out and show it to you on a UFO Friday. So for now, folks, thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, and remember to try to make a little time every day to do something that makes you happy. Thanks so much for joining me, friends. Bye-bye.